All right, so for this lesson that we have today, we're in lesson two. And again, just a quick reminder, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware and just if you have any confusion or concerns, we have lesson one yesterday, today is lesson two, tomorrow's gonna be three, Thursday's gonna be four, and on Friday will be the flex day. Okay, so if you had trouble yesterday, don't worry. On Friday, you're gonna have that extra day to make up what happened. Again, this is something that we cannot control, and unfortunately, it happened on the first day. So I'm just letting you know so that way you're not concerned. I know as I put 8 p.m. to finish the assignment, I will be extending it to the end of the week. Okay. So today we're going to be entering our lesson two. For lesson two, you should have my channel like this on the left side column. You have general, unit 5 lesson 1, unit 5 lesson 2. So you're gonna go to unit 5 lesson 2. You click on this, you're gonna go to files, and you should have the list of everything, that all the resources that I'm gonna provide. Now, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed about this. They're not all assignments. A lot of them are simply just single page documents and whatnot. But I'm just putting everything here so that you can have access to it. As I'm going to keep the same routine that I have for my class, which is a PowerPoint, and at the same time with the PowerPoint, you'll have my guided notes aligned with the notes. So I usually title them based on the name of the lesson. So Intro to Sub-Saharan Africa main. That means like the main presentation. Everything that I would have presented to you will be here. Right here, where it says Intro to Sub-Saharan Africa notes, those are your guided notes. Sometimes it's guided notes. Sometimes I just give you all the notes, and then I just provide these questions to follow up with the notes. So in this, for today's lesson, there will be questions on your notes. So I'm going to be going through the PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to be asking you the CFU. It's going to be the same CFU questions that you'll find in your notes. Here's what I recommend. If you have a printer, I recommend that you print your notes. That way you have everything, so you can be collecting your notes, refer back to them when I ask you guys to study for your exam. If you don't have access to a printer, that's completely fine. You can simply just at the most that you can do, I just need you to just as I go through the PowerPoint presentations, you have your own notebook, and in college this is what you're going to be going through a lot, where you have your professor just simply reading giving you a lecture, and you're just gonna just take your own personal notes. So you can do that as well. I highly encourage that if you can do that. It's to get you ready for that. If you don't, it's a lot of a hassle. The other approach you have is that you can simply type your responses in the notes for yourself. It's whatever works for you the most. I just want you guys to challenge yourself. Please don't strain yourself about like, well, I hate going back and forth to the PowerPoint and typing in whatever you put in a guided notes. I completely understand if that's not your format, or taking notes on your own because you feel this is something that is a high rigor or high challenge. That's completely fine. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So what I'm gonna be doing is right now, I'm gonna open up this PowerPoint presentation. I'm gonna simply read the notes to you, and I'll stop every single checkpoint for CFU to ask you questions about based on the notes. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna be opening up Intro to Sub-Saharan Africa. If you do have a printer, please print these notes out. If you don't have a printer, you can write down your notes on scratch paper, and you can keep your notes all tied up together. Or two, just simply making sure that you do type the notes as you go through the lecture, if you can do that. Okay. All right. So Intro to Sub-Saharan Africa. And as always, my PowerPoint started like that. This is the title, Intro to Sub-Saharan Africa. Your objective, write it down. Going back, if I can go back to my notes right here. Sub-Saharan notes. Your do now question that I'm asking is, if I go up here, I'm asking you guys, okay, according to the map, which three continents are the countries the most developed? The second question, on which two continents are the most countries with the medium level of development? And we talked about HDI, okay? So basically, you're trying to identify continents that have developed, and countries that are very like semi-developed. And then the third question is, which continent contains the least development? And then question 4, based on what you know about this continent, this is based on question 3. What might be the cause of the low level of development? So you may be wondering, okay, so what exactly are you talking about? In the PowerPoint presentation, I'm talking about this picture right here. I want you to glance through this, and I want you to use a key. And I'm sure you can find this in the slide right here that I'm looking at right now, glancing at. Okay, make sure that you find the key. I know this is make sure you sign yourself. That was things that I need to change. So don't worry, there's no homework. So I just simply answer the do not question, and as always, if you're done, you will read, but in this case, you do not. Just simply move on to the next part. Okay, so answer the do not question. Again, write your title, adjective. Once you're done, we'll move on. Okay, so I'll give you guys about 1 minute. It's gonna take 5 minutes. Sorry about that. Take about 5 to 7 minutes for this part. So press pause, and I'll give you again 7 minutes to respond, and I'll give you guys the correct responses right now. All right, if you wrote down North America, Australia, and Europe, you'll be correct. If you want, if for specification purposes, if you went like really through the nail, it should have been the region North America is the same thing. Australia is just a continent / country, but for Europe, it will be Western Europe. So again, remember we had the discussion about how Europe is kind of evenly divided, where half of it is developed and the other half is semi-developed. So yeah, when it comes to semi-developed, that will be South America and Asia. Notice that over here in North America, we have the United States and Canada, but then we have Mexico, and then all these little countries right here. Will be, take a few seconds. What region am I talking about right here? From Mexico all the way to the top corner of South America. And that should be Central America. So Central America is semi-developed, okay? Now the continent with the least development, based on this key that we have right here, blue being the most developed, gold meaning developed, and then red meaning the least developed, it's going to be Africa, okay? Now, like I said, Unit 5 is going to be based on Africa. We're going to be looking at Africa. We're going to see how, again, what are the 2 things that I said yesterday that we're going to be like understanding Africa most, okay, for this unit. So in order to understand Africa and the conditions that it's going through right now, there's 2 things again. We're going to say Africa, but the crucial point is going to be history. And we're going to see how history is one of the things that you can attribute to the causes of the current conditions that people live on today. You're going to see how does the past affect us today? You might be wondering, well, it does not affect me anymore. Like we have, for example, I don't know, like let's say that for my situation, my parents came from Mexico, like they live in poverty, and so what? And it does matter a lot, because if you go further back, and I have in my family's history, I found out a lot of things about their conditions. I found out a lot about the things that my ancestors were going through, and it affects me. And that's one of the reasons why, remember, we have push and pull factors. This is one of the reasons why one of the push factors for my family was poverty. One of the pull factors for the United States was education. There's better jobs and so on. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. So when we go to this whole unit, I want you to think about Africa. Like, why is it in this condition? Why is it that it has this connotation of being this continent that is struggling a lot?